commissions were split between the teams that advocate in the proceedings and the teams that advise the commissioners. And so I'm on the latter team. I support the commissioners with case management and decision making. And so this can involve reviewing cases when they come in and identifying potential areas for different testimony, as well as helping the commissioners prepare questions for hearings or for making final decisions. A lot of experience not only in the policy areas the agency works on, but also some different fields ranging from stakeholder engagement to project management to developing policies and procedures.
I enjoyed working in regulation, and I've had an opportunity to move through several positions in the state of Pennsylvania. And when I went to the interview, I was just impressed by how passionate the executive director and the director of regulatory affairs were about utility regulation, and they really made me want to be a part of it.
About right now is having the opportunity to support the agency to implement new legislation related to incorporating equity in our decision making. And this has involved everything from trying to improve how we run public comment hearings and workshops, to identifying ways we may need to change rules, to incorporate new mapping tools and different procedural practices. It's been incredibly exciting, and we have some absolute challenges to navigate at the agency, but we are getting to try new things and make our agency more accessible and equitable.
I come from a family that believes in public service. My father worked for the federal government in the Internal Revenue Service, and my mother was an educator. She spent her entire career in the same school district. We always have believed that our work should benefit others. I personally want the things that I do to benefit my community. Public service, it just makes sense to me. And working in the state government, I feel is the perfect balance of being able to have enough resources at your disposal to reach the greatest number of people while still being able to see the direct effects of your work in your local community.
When I interviewed with my feature manager at the commission and with some other folks on the advisory team, I asked what they liked best about the job, and it was that they got to learn new things all the time. And I have consistently found that to be true. I get to spend time digging into details, figuring out technical issues and incentives, and seeing how utility regulation evolves and how our agency can evolve. If you're willing to learn, if you're willing to show leadership and engage with people internally and externally, you can kind of build the role that you want. And I think that's something that I've been able to do through my time in public service.
Well, there's two things I would say. The first thing is waking up every morning knowing that the work I'm doing benefits my community, benefits almost everybody I know, everyone I see on a daily basis. Personally, I'm one of the few really out LGBTQI plus people in the commission and in the state government. And personally, I find that having those protections and that encouragement of diversity really adds a level of comfort and meaning to the work that I do.
Public utility commissions are critical to people's day-to-day lives. The commissioners regulate essential services like electricity and natural gas. And they do that by being very thoughtful about how they regulate and where they should provide entities with deference and where they should encourage stakeholders to negotiate and where they should dig into details and set really specific objectives and requirements. So commissions really set the baselines for all these processes, like whether utilities treat people fairly when they need help paying their bills. And that is absolutely critical day to day.
Well, every single person in the state is touched by utility service in one way or another. whether or not we're attached to the public water system, you're going to need electric, you're going to need a way to heat your home. It's something that really touches each and every citizen in the states. And I just can't say enough about how meaningful our work is to not just our individual community, but the state and on the national level.
I'd say engaging. Every day, it still keeps me curious working here, and I think that is something that commissions need, which is people who want to dig in and understand data and incentives and all of the other dynamics that determine how to regulate as effectively as possible.
Flexibility. In my commission, we have a very large commission, and we have a number of roles that are available to people. I'm a CPA, a financial person by trade, but in my commission, we have almost 500 people. There are economists, there's engineers, there's attorneys, there's workforce development personnel, there's computer and cyber experts. Almost anything that you can be interested in can lend itself to the work of utility regulation.
When people can get their foot in the door, be an intern, be a fellow, you can see real change over time in how this industry works. And you may not necessarily understand how it all fits together immediately. It can take a lot of time, but you can also learn a set of just incredibly unique skills that can transfer to a lot of places.
I would just recommend this type of work to anyone who is interested in a dynamic, meaningful career. The things that we're doing impact directly on our life currently, but also in the future. I know that the work I do helps the world that my daughter is going to live in. For example, we're looking at tariffs for electric vehicles, clean energy transition, meeting water challenges and infrastructure challenges. All of that is so meaningful, and it is a very exciting time to be a regulator.